It is not the number of bonings that you stitch to a corset cup that makes it cup well. In today's tutorial, we're going to learn the art of bust caging and how to add bonings so effectively to our corset cup. If this is what you are interested in, kindly stay tuned to the end of this video. Alright, fashion lovers, to achieve this, we have to get a boning of 0.75 inches or 0.25. You should not use a boning that is bigger than 0.25 or 0.75. This is because the smaller the boning, the easier it is to cage the bust cup. So I've gone ahead to mark my seam allowances. I left ½ inch around the up and I marked my lines where I'll be putting the bone. So I'll first of all go ahead and stitch the first one like so. Just watch closely, you are going to see what I am doing. I'm stitching it on that flat line. You know, this boning used to have two flat lines at the left hand side and at the right hand side. You get? So that's where I am stitching. So after I've gotten to the seam allowance area, I'll make sure to cut it because that's where the bone is going to be ending. The seam allowance will be used to join up the cup to the main dress. Do you understand? So I'll go ahead and stitch the other side of it. I told you it's having two flat areas, so that's the part to stitch. Do you understand? So this is the first caging, the first boning that I've sewn, and you see how the cup is already coming out. Now I'll go ahead to stitch up the second line, and in where you're marking, please make sure to mark curved lines. Do you understand? Make sure that you're having curved lines. Don't just make the lines to be straight, because the bra cup is not straight. The bra cup itself is not straight. And in order for you to get this very well, you have to make sure that your drafting is very perfect. Now at this point, the center stitch that I had, where I joined the upper piece and the two lower piece for the bra cup, I'm going to go ahead and cut the center like this. This is because the boning is not going to be like giving me this shape. So when I cut it now, it will be easy for me to start up joining again. I'll put it from where the other one stopped and then I will continue stitching. I don't know if you understand, but just watch closely. You will see what I'm talking about. So I'll go ahead and stitch, and after stitching, when I get to the seam allowance area, the line I marked, I will end my stitches there and I will cut it off. Do you get? So I'll go ahead and I'll cut it off. So this is what I have. Do you see what I'm having? And this is what the outside is looking like. Now the remaining part is the upper part. I'll go ahead and now stitch the upper part like this, leaving out my seam allowance. Please don't forget to leave your seam allowance. It depends on how much seam allowance you like to use while sewing. But me, I use 0.5. Some people used to have 0.75 or 0.25. It just depends on how accurate it just depends on what works for you and what not works for you. So just do what works for you, but just follow the plan and the technique that I'm going with. So when I get to this part again, I'll cut it off so that it will not encroach with the seam allowance area, because you'll not be wanting your boning to be disturbing you when you want to join the cup to the main outfit. Do you get? So this is the upper part that I have joined, and you can see that this bra cup is already formed. Do you get? Now I'll now have to stitch this round part like this one that is coming round. I'll now have to go ahead and stitch it round like so. I'll get my boning and put it inside this up part like this, and then I'll stitch it all round. Do you understand? Yes, I'll go ahead and stitch it all round just like you can see me do. So after, I like to measure it out. After I measure it, I'll now cut it. This is because I don't want the other bones to be obstructing and disturbing me. So after I finish measuring it out, I'll just go ahead and cut it. Even if I stitch and there are little excess, I'll go ahead and still cut that off. I just want to work with a little piece of bone. So this is just how to do it. But the main part of this boning bust caging is that you have to cage with a 3-cupped corset, like 3-panel corset. This corset that used to have 3 pieces, 1 at the upper part and 2 at the down area. This is that if when you use 3-piece corsets to make a bust caging in a cup, wow, the effect you're going to have is going to be so mind-blowing. And it is this 3-part corset that I used in this cup now that I'm caging. So that is why you can see the effect coming out so perfect. Now I'm done with stitching, you can see. So I'll just go ahead and stitch all the second lines that I have not stitched. Like initially I just stitched the first line, so I'll go ahead and finish up all the stitching at all the sides. While working with bonings or boss caging, you just have to be patient because your threads can cut, your threads can be cutting, it can be disturbing. Sometimes it can break lots of needle for you if you don't have patience, and if you're not careful the line where you're stitching. So working with bones can be very, very disturbing sometimes, but with patience and consistency, you're going to get what you're looking for. I can't even count how many times my thread cut, and I had to fix and fix and fix. And the last result was what I expected, and I loved the outcome. So after stitching all the lines together now, I'll now bring it in to show us with, this is the lining piece. Please don't forget, always cage on your lining piece. Don't cage on the main outfit. Yes, before you cage, you might have gone ahead to put your bra foam or your wadding and stitch the cup up before you cage. So if you want me to show a video where I stitch up the cup or a video where I ironed it, you can still go ahead and notify me in the comment section, and I will see what I can do to that. For now, here comes the end of the video. And if you have watched this video so far, kindly subscribe to this channel, leave me a comment, like, and share. So I'll now bring the fashion fabric that I'll be using for this, and I'll now place it on this cup. Do you see how my hands are fitting inside? So perfect. So I'll now place the fashion fabric, and you can see I've not even ironed it all. So by the time I go and iron it and use my fiber or estate to flesh it up, you will see the result. Do you see? At this point, I have gone ahead to, I've ironed it up, and this is what I'm having. See you in my next video. Bye.